In the heart of the African savanna, where the golden grasses swayed with the rhythm of the wind and the sun kissed the land with its warm embrace, lived a woman named Nia. Nia was known far and wide for her striking beauty and the vibrant personality that matched the rich tapestry of her surroundings. Her skin, as dark as the fertile soil, shimmered under the sunlight, accentuating the intricate patterns of the African bracelet adorning her wrist. The bracelet was a gift from her grandmother, a powerful symbol of her heritage and the strength of her lineage. It was crafted with care, each bead telling a story of the ancestors who had walked the land before her. Nia's face was a masterpiece in itself, framed by a crown of voluminous afro curls. Her thick eyebrows arched gracefully above her deep-set eyes, which seemed to hold the secrets of the ages. She often adorned her ears with large hoop earrings that clinked melodiously as she moved, adding a touch of elegance to her already regal presence. Her lips, painted a deep crimson, were often seen curled into a broad smile or parted in joyful laughter, revealing a gleaming set of teeth. This laughter was her trademark, a sound as natural and infectious as the chirping of the birds or the rustling of the leaves. Her open mouth, caught in moments of sheer delight, was a symbol of her unabashed zest for life. Nia's facial hair was sparse but present, adding a unique charm to her visage that was both feminine and fiercely authentic. She took pride in this feature, a testament to her acceptance of every part of herself. Her nails were always immaculately polished, painted in hues that reflected the vibrant colors of the natural world around her. Today, they were a brilliant shade of green, reminiscent of the lush foliage that surrounded her village. One fine day, Nia decided to wear a dress made of leopard print fabric, a playful parody of the majestic creatures that roamed her homeland. The dress clung to her curves, its pattern blending seamlessly with the wilderness. As she stood amidst the tall grasses, she looked like a living embodiment of the land itself, fierce and untamed. She was out in nature, her favorite place to be. The earth beneath her feet felt cool and reassuring, grounding her with every step she took. She paused for a moment, looking directly at the viewer with a gaze that was both penetrating and warm. Her eyes, twinkling with mischief and wisdom, invited anyone who met them to share in her joy, to understand the deep connection she felt with her roots. In that moment, Nia was a vision of strength, beauty, and authenticity. She was a living, breathing testament to the power of embracing one's heritage and individuality. Her presence was a reminder that true beauty lies in the acceptance of oneself and the celebration of one's origins. As Nia stood amidst the savanna, she took a deep breath, savoring the scents of wildflowers and earth. The wind played with her afro, making it dance in unison with the leaves of the baobab trees that dotted the landscape. She closed her eyes, feeling the rhythm of the land, a rhythm that pulsed through her very being. From a distance, the melodic call of a hornbill echoed through the air, blending with the distant roar of a lion. The animals of the savanna were part of her extended family, each with its own story and place in the intricate web of life. Nia often felt a kinship with the leopard, whose print she proudly wore. Like the leopard, she was both graceful and powerful, able to move through life with agility and strength. Her grandmother's teachings echoed in her mind, "We are the guardians of this land, Nia. Our beauty is not just in our appearance, but in our ability to harmonize with nature and each other." These words had guided her through many challenges, reminding her of the resilience and wisdom passed down through generations. As she walked, Nia's hoop earrings glinted in the sunlight, casting tiny reflections onto the ground. Her steps were deliberate, each one leaving an imprint on the soil, connecting her to the earth beneath her feet. She approached a grove of acacia trees, their branches forming a natural canopy that provided a respite from the sun. Under the shade, she found a smooth rock and sat down, her leopard print dress blending with the dappled shadows. She ran her fingers over the bracelet on her wrist, feeling the texture of each bead. It was a tangible connection to her ancestors, a reminder of the strength and beauty that flowed through her veins. In moments of stillness like this, Nia often reflected on the journey of her people. The stories of triumph and struggle, of love and loss, were woven into the fabric of her identity. She knew that her presence here was not just for herself, but for those who came before her and those who would come after. Her life was a testament to their legacy. Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes caught her attention. A young antelope emerged, its large eyes looking curiously at her. Nia smiled, her crimson lips parting in a gentle greeting. The antelope took a cautious step forward, then another, until it was close enough to touch. She reached out slowly, her hand meeting its soft fur. In that moment, there was a silent understanding between them, a shared trust that transcended words. Nia's nail polish gleamed in the filtered light, a vibrant contrast to the natural hues around her. She often chose colors that reminded her of the landscape, greens for the foliage, blues for the sky, and reds for the sunsets. Her appearance was a celebration of the world she loved, an artistic expression of her connection to the land. As the sun began its descent, casting a golden glow over the savanna, Nia stood up. The antelope, sensing her intention, bounded away into the underbrush. Nia watched it go, a sense of peace settling over her. She began her journey back to the village, each step resonating with the heartbeat of the earth. Back in the village, the evening fires were being lit, their flickering flames casting warm light on the faces of her people. Children ran and played, their laughter mingling with the songs of the elders. Nia joined them, her presence a beacon of the unity and joy that defined their community. As night fell, the stars emerged, twinkling like the beads on her bracelet. Nia looked up, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She was a part of this land, this heritage, this beautiful tapestry of life. And in her heart, she knew that she would continue to walk this path, embracing her identity and sharing her light with the world. As the village settled into the tranquil rhythm of the night, Nia found herself drawn to a familiar path leading away from the communal fires. She moved with purpose, her leopard print dress flowing like a river of golden hues against her dark, radiant skin. The hoop earrings clinked gently with each step, a melodic accompaniment to the nocturnal symphony of crickets and distant animal calls. She reached the edge of the village, where the grassland gave way to a lush forest. The moonlight filtered through the canopy, casting an ethereal glow on the scene. Nia paused to admire the beauty of the night, her thick eyebrows drawing together in a contemplative expression. She felt the presence of her ancestors in the whisper of the wind and the rustling leaves, their spirits watching over her. Her nails, painted a deep midnight blue tonight, glinted under the moonlight as she adjusted the bracelet on her wrist. Each bead seemed to catch the light, glowing with a life of its own. Nia felt a surge of pride and responsibility. She was a guardian of her heritage, a keeper of her people's stories. Nia walked deeper into the forest, her senses heightened by the sounds and scents of the night. She knew every tree, every rock, every hidden path. This forest had been her playground as a child, a place of endless exploration and wonder. It was here that she had learned the lessons of survival, of respect for nature, and of her own inner strength. As she moved, she came upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, where a massive baobab tree stood. Its ancient branches stretched towards the sky, a living testament to resilience and longevity. Nia approached the tree, placing a hand on its rough bark. She felt a deep connection to this tree, which had stood here for centuries, witnessing the passage of time and the lives of her ancestors. She sat down at the base of the baobab, her back against its sturdy trunk. Looking up, she could see the stars through the branches, twinkling like diamonds against the velvet sky. It was in moments like these that she felt the presence of her grandmother the most. The stories told around the fire, the wisdom shared in whispered conversations, all came rushing back to her. Closing her eyes, Nia began to sing softly, a song her grandmother had taught her. It was a melody of the earth, a hymn of the stars, a tribute to the strength and beauty of her people. Her voice, rich and melodic, filled the clearing, blending with the sounds of the night. The song spoke of love, of struggle, of triumph, a reflection of the journey of her ancestors and the path that lay ahead. As she sang, she felt a presence beside her. Opening her eyes, she saw a figure emerging from the shadows. It was Kofi, a young man from the village who had always admired her strength and spirit. He was tall and strong, with a kind face and eyes that mirrored the depths of the night sky. "Nia," Kofi said softly, his voice blending with the night. "I heard your song and followed it here. It is beautiful, just like you." Nia smiled, her crimson lips parting to reveal a flash of white teeth. "Thank you, Kofi. This place, this song, it means a lot to me. It's a connection to my grandmother, to our ancestors." Kofi nodded, understanding the depth of her words. He sat down beside her, their shoulders touching as they leaned against the ancient baobab. Together, they gazed up at the stars, feeling the weight of their heritage and the promise of their future. "Nia," Kofi began after a moment of silence, "you have always been a beacon of light in our village. Your strength and beauty inspire us all. I want to walk this path with you, to share in your journey." Nia turned to look at him, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. She saw sincerity and love in his gaze, a mirror of her own feelings. She reached out, taking his hand in hers, the warmth of his touch a comforting reassurance. "Together, Kofi," she said softly. "We will honor our ancestors and build a future that reflects their strength and wisdom. We will walk this path side by side." As the night deepened, Nia and Kofi sat in silence, their hands intertwined, their hearts beating in unison. They were two souls connected by the land, by their heritage, and by a love that promised to carry them forward into a future as bright and beautiful as the stars above. Once upon a time, in the heart of the African savanna, there lived a young woman named Nia. She was a vision of beauty, her skin as dark and rich as the fertile soil, adorned with a vibrant African bracelet that shimmered in the sunlight. Nia's eyes, deep and soulful, seemed to hold the wisdom of ages past, while her lips, painted a bold crimson, often curved into a radiant smile. Nia's journey through life was guided by the teachings of her ancestors, passed down through generations. Her grandmother, a revered elder in the village, had instilled in her a deep appreciation for their heritage and a profound connection to the land. One day, as Nia wandered through the village, she came across a group of children playing near the communal fire. Their laughter filled the air, mingling with the sound of drums and distant animal calls. Among the children was a young girl named Kemi, whose thick eyebrows and open, curious expression mirrored Nia's own. Nia felt drawn to Kemi, sensing a kindred spirit in the girl's playful energy and inquisitive gaze. She approached the group, her hoop earrings swaying gently with each step, and soon found herself swept up in their games. Together, they danced and sang, their voices rising in joyful harmony. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the village, Nia and Kemi sat together by the fire. The flames flickered and danced, casting playful shadows on their faces. Nia reached into her bag and pulled out a small jar of nail polish, its deep, earthy tones reflecting the colors of the savanna. "Would you like me to paint your nails, Kemi?" Nia asked with a smile, her eyes twinkling with warmth. Kemi's face lit up with excitement as she nodded eagerly. Nia carefully applied the nail polish, her movements gentle and precise. As she worked, she shared stories of her own childhood, of days spent exploring the wilderness and nights filled with laughter and song. Kemi listened intently, her eyes wide with wonder. She admired Nia's thick eyebrows and the intricate patterns of her bracelet, sensing a deep connection to the woman who sat beside her. In that moment, a bond formed between them, a bond that transcended age and circumstance. As the night deepened and the stars painted patterns across the sky, Nia and Kemi sat together in companionable silence. The fire crackled and popped, its warmth a comforting embrace. Around them, the village slept, wrapped in the peaceful stillness of the night. In that moment, Nia felt a sense of belonging, a sense of home that resonated deep within her soul. She knew that no matter where life took her, she would always carry the spirit of her ancestors with her, guiding her on her journey. And as she looked into Kemi's eyes, she saw the spark of that same spirit, the spark of resilience, strength, and beauty that defined their shared heritage. Together, they were a testament to the power of connection, the power of love, and the power of embracing one's roots. As the night stretched on and the fire burned low, Nia and Kemi drifted off to sleep, their dreams filled with visions of the savannah, their home, their sanctuary, their heart. And in the morning light, as the sun rose once again over the African horizon, they would rise with it, ready to face whatever adventures lay ahead, hand in hand, side by side.